Alright, here we are today at my Ford F-250 Super Duty V10 Triton with the blown spark plug. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to start pulling these coilover plugs off. I'm going to insert all 10 of the plugs. So I'm going to get started on it. I'm going to get up here and pull the coils off and see if I can pull a spark plug out and see what the access is going to be. What I'm afraid is this fuel rail. When I go to stand the tools up to cut the seats and tap them, this fuel rail might be right in the way, which is not going to please me if I have to remove that too. But so, but it is what it is. But it sure looks like it's kind of right over the spark plug, meaning right over the access with the tools. So first step is I'm going to remove all these electrical connections to the coils, remove all the coils on this one side. I'll just do the passenger side first, and then we'll see where we're at. If I have to remove the fuel rail, that'll be next. But first things first is just to get these coils off and get a plug out and see what kind of access I do have. Okay, here we are on my Triton V10 in my Ford F-250 blown spark plug. The step right now is to remove all of the coilover plugs. So like I mentioned in an earlier video, what we got to do is first, so here's a coil right down here, one of the coils, here's another coil. You can see maybe another coil back here, another coil, then the fifth coil, which is the one that blew, is of course blown off. So to get them off, we'll repeat this. Reach underneath, and there's a little connector on the bottom end of this, a little tab you have to push down and slide the cop connectors off. Let me get this out of the way. So we reach down, I might have loosened these already. Let's see, I've got that one off. And reach down, there's a little tab back here, and then slide this off. So we're going to go ahead and remove all these coils. And then get that little tab, wiggle the connector off. Okay, cool. So once we got that out of the way, guess we might as well take these injectors plugs off too, get them out of the way while I'm under here. Just clean everything up. Same thing, just push this little tab on the side. I don't know if you can see it in this video. There's a little tab on the side of the injector electronics connector. Push the tab and wiggle it. It should just pull back out of the way. Here's this one. Let's see if you get that out of the way. I don't know if you can see it in this light, but there's a little tab right here. Just push on it, wiggle the connector. It should come right off. You can see a little better, but there's this little tab right here. Push on that. Connector slides off. And now, to actually remove the, I'll remove this last one too, off of cylinder 1. Alright, we've got everything out of the way. And that's not too bad. The next thing is to remove these coils. There's a little bolt holding them down right here on the edge of the coil. Remove that, and then the coil just is held down with a spring down on top of the plug. And we'll pull these off and see what the access looks like. Okay, so I busted all the bolts loose holding the coils down. Now I'm just spinning them off. They weren't that tight, but I busted them loose with a ratchet. Then I'm going to spin all the bolts loose. Let's see if all these are not quite loose. There you go. So pop all those loose. I reached back in there to number 5, the one that had blown off, and I've already pulled it out. You can see the piece of it sitting right there. That's the piece of the coil and the bolt that held it to the intake manifold. So I should be able to just reach in here, and we'll start with number 2 just because the light's a little better on it. But now that I've loosened up the screw, I can just take it out of the way and should be able to just pull this coil out. Come on, puppy. Let's see, I want to make sure I don't hurt it. They're not cheap. So let's see, let's give it a little twist or something to loosen it up a little. Come on. There we go. And then just pull it out, and there's, I don't know if you can see it, but there's the spark plug well right beside, there it is. See the spark plug well right beside the mounting hole for the cop. There's an injector for number 3, an injector for number 2. And here's the coil for number 2. I'm just going to pull them all off in order like that and get those out of the way, and we'll take a look. Okay, here are the 5 coils for the coilover plug for the passenger side. So they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you see number 5 here is busted. This is the one that blew off. So the mounting tab is snapped off right here. And here are the other 4. Now I numbered them when I pulled them out. So I've heard that it doesn't matter what order they went out and what order they go back in, but I'm just trying to keep track of this. So since this is my car and I'm not doing this for someone else, I'm not a professional mechanic trying to just crank these out in a day. So I pulled them out, numbered them up, set them here, and I'll probably put them back in the same order. But there they are, all in a little row. So I'm looking at this 5th coil, the one that got blew off when the spark plug blew. And so it blows this little tab off right here that mounts it to the manifold and holds the coil down on top of the plug. So, you know, for this little bit of busted plastic, you got to buy a brand new one. You know, and they're anywhere from, you can get some cheap aftermarket ones for about 26, 27, up to 70, 80 bucks. A Motorcraft one will cost you about 50. So, I don't know, I'm looking at it and I'm wondering, yeah, we'll see, but I'm wondering if a person couldn't, you know, JB weld that thing back together. Don't know if that'd work or not, but, you know, hell, I'm considering that. So, we'll see. But there they are, pulled off. If we get up here and take a look. Sort of pulled some of the cables out of the way, pulled all the injector wires off, pulled all the coils out, and you can see the spark plug holes, you know, all in a row here. Here's, you know, 1, 2, right next to the injectors. I can see that the lighting's not great back here, but all right. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run a quick inspection scope down. The plug is still in, but I'm just gonna take a look, and then we'll, you know, probably pull a plug and see what the seats look like and see how things look.